You first bind it here and it will be bound in heaven. You lose it here, it will be loosed in heaven. Remember this. Don't sit down and coil up in your bed and say, well, I'm waiting for the day when we go to heaven. There will be no more sorrow. There will be no more tears. The heaven can be here right now as we speak, because you have the authority to rebuke the devil. Let him flee from you, because he has an assignment, and greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Don't sit down and welcome him, because when he comes and he sees that the room is empty, he goes and he invites his brothers and sisters and says, come, there is an empty apartment. That's your heart. And when he occupies there, he will not move. So you got to resist him. Don't give him an apartment. Remember, if you don't let God use you, he will abuse you. The devil will abuse you. And I always tell people, don't give the devil a ride, and he will always want to drive. Don't give him a ride. Resist him, and he will flee from you. Pick up that phone and give me a call. I'm not Jesus, but I will pray with you, and we will talk person to person, and we will share the good news, and we will reason together. So whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Matthew chapter 16 verse 19. But it must be bound on earth first. It must be bound on earth first. If you ask the Lord to take your problem away, listen to this. If you ask the Lord to take your problem away, he is going to say to you what he said to Paul, my grace is sufficient for you. My grace is sufficient for you. Yes, God is willing to use his power and his ability on your behalf. But first you must act on the authority of his word to set that grace in motion. You have to set that grace in motion. For those of you who know about physics, physics defines force, F-O-R-C-E. Physics defines force as that which changes or tends to change the position of rest or the uniform motion of a body. In other words, if this object is sitting here, if it can sit here for 1,000 years, and it can only move when a force is applied to it. When a force is applied to it, it keeps moving. So force is that which changes or tends to change the position of rest. When I push this thing here, it has changed the position of rest because I applied a force to it. That force has changed its position of rest, and it has altered the uniform motion. So in other words, if you don't do anything, nothing happens. You have to set that grace in motion. You have to apply force to that grace. Apply force to that grace. Apply force to that grace. So that grace will work. My grace is sufficient. But you cannot allow Satan and say, oh, come on in and dwell. God's grace is sufficient, and expect God to do anything. You have to resist him and knowing that grace is already there, but you got to let the word come out. So the good news is that you have been delivered from the authority of darkness, and you are more than a conqueror through Jesus Christ. So don't wait 6 months to act on your God-given authority. Don't wait 2 months or 1 year to act on your God's given authority. As far as God is concerned, Satan is defeated. Satan is defeated. That's the good news. But you must enforce his defeat to stay free. Colossians chapter 1 verse 13, Romans chapter 8 verse 37, James chapter 4 verse 7, you must enforce Satan's defeat in order to stay free. Give me a call, 718-230-0777 or 718-230-3473. Remember, Holy Ghost, do it again. Do it again in my life. Open my eyes to see Jesus seated upon the throne. God bless you. And remember, this is the victory that overcometh the world, even your faith. Until next time, shalom. Peace.
Praise the Lord. Glory to the Father, to the Son, and to the Holy Ghost, the God of creation. I say, praise the Lord, God of mercy. J to the E to the S to the US, the name that never fails. CH to the R to the I to the ST, I say Satan fears the name. Jesus the Christ is the Son of Jehovah. He's the Lord of Lords.